Let's talk about JT Dolan.
Thanks. My name's JT. I'm an alcoholic and an addict.
Hi, JT.
JT Dolan is played by actor Tim Daly.
About 15 years ago, I moved from Jersey to Hollywood.
There's Tony Soprano and Kevin Finnerty. And then there's Christopher Moltisanti and JT Dolan. Kevin Finnerty's a dream, but JT exists in the regular Sopranos universe. But in some ways, JT is like an alternate version of Christopher, if things had been different, somewhere down the line.
You know, my cousin Gregory's girlfriend is what they call a development girl out in Hollywood, right?
Broke into the biz.
Because once you enter this family, there's no getting out.
It was a dream come true. I was making money. I had the Beamer, the actress' girlfriend.
You're a made guy now. It's your turn to make some real money.
Best of all, I had all the flake I needed to keep me churning out that snappy dialogue for Corbin Burnson.
All the flake makes me think of not just JT, or Christopher for that matter, but also James Gandolfini and the struggles he experienced and the things he dealt with in order to keep churning out those lines, maybe not writing them, but memorizing them and channeling his everything into becoming the man we know as Tony Soprano.
Alcohol, that shit practically comes with a writer's guild card. Before too long, I discovered heroin.
Just like someone else who also discovered heroin.
And things really started to fall apart.
I don't do it every fucking day now, like some people.
By the grace of God, I got myself into a rehab program in Pennsylvania, and with the help of some good friends that I made there, I got through it.
JT talks about how he met some friends at rehab that really helped him turn things around, and one of those people is Christopher. Now, it's pretty unlikely that one would meet someone in the mafia at drug rehab because, as we know, most people would have gotten their intervention right to the back of the head, as Tony says. But Christopher, he got there. JT got there. And he and JT have more than a couple things in common.
I just wanted to see if I could get high like a normal person.
You're not normal. Neither of us are.
But JT, that flake, it can also be on the cards right in front of you.
You know when Bogey says, of all the lousy gin joints in the world, why'd you have to pick mine?
Of all the rehab facilities in the world, or even just the United States, why'd you have to walk into mine? Why'd they have to walk into the same one?
Playing cards, games of chance, I never really dug it before. But there's something about that excitement that's so...
JT talks about the cards, the game of chance. There's something about that excitement that's so, I don't know.
Well, you're telling me you're not using?
What?
You ran out of IHOP like you were on fire.
I think I know. It's his new addiction. A substitute for heroin. And with JT's gambling problem, who else does he remind you of?
I'm gonna make it all work out somehow, I swear.
What do you got for me?
That.
You're doing a good job, Davey. Apparently JT has a kid too, as he asks Christopher at one point if he can borrow some money for child support after his really bad poker night.
You're still here?
How bad?
He was in the house 57.
1,000?
How much is he into us for?
About $45 as a ZD.
Before JT arrived in the picture, Davey Scatino was the reigning champion in boxes of ZD owed to the DeMeo family. But JT smashed that record. He was into them for 57 large. JT's character is also used to poke fun at TV when he tries to pawn his Emmy and the guy offers him only $15 because it's not something really valuable like an Academy Award or something similar.
This is fucking Pulp Fiction. Am I supposed to be afraid?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
If you had an Oscar, maybe I could give you something. An Academy Award. But TV.
Just like JT gives Christopher his car for partial debt payment, so too does our friend Davey back in season 2.
You can do this, man. I have faith in you. There's no chemical solution to a spiritual problem.
Another quick side note. I think some people would disagree, like Dr. Melfi.
Well, with today's pharmacology, no one needs to suffer. with feelings of exhaustion and depression.
We are all hung up. But we are also hung up on our own hang-up. We mythologize our inner narrative.
She said I could sell my life story.
An entire room full of writers, and you did nothing!
An entire room full of writers, and you did nothing. I always think of that line when I think of really poorly written shows.
Well, we've been working on a new kind of slasher film. It takes place in the world of, the mafia.
Your movie, the boss sleeping with the other guy's fiance?
Carmela, I didn't even write it.
Story by Christopher Moltisanti. Isn't that what it said up there on the screen?
Yeah, but that's just for the Writers Guild health insurance.
Drugs, alcohol, that shit practically comes with a Writers Guild card.
After JT pays the rest of his debt by writing Cleaver, he probably figures that'll be the last time Christopher shows up at his door unannounced. Or at least, he won't do it so much. Not so fast. First, you've got to go make Tony believe he wasn't the inspiration for the movie Cleaver.
Humanitas Award? What's that?
Humanitas, from the Paulus brothers, for writing themes of socially redeeming...
A bit of a contrast between whatever JT wrote that got him that award and his recent writing, Cleaver.
His whole persona? I stole that from Broderick Crawford and Bourne yesterday.
And the time after that, well, that was a deadly encounter. Unfortunately, that last encounter between Christopher and JT, Christopher's sponsor was out of town.
I'll give you stories make your fucking head curdle.
She said I could sell my life story.
I don't want to hear it.
John Favreau and Amy really wanted to hear about them.
You could tell me the way shit goes down, like what makes sense.
JT, he doesn't want to hear it at all.
How's the fight? Aside from Tim Daly chewing my ear for an hour, it was wonderful.
JT didn't want to hear it from Christopher. Apparently, some people don't want to hear it from JT either. Christopher was good for JT in rehab, in a controlled environment, but not on the outside, because Christopher was still firmly stuck in his past, as much as he may have felt a burden had been lifted while he was in Pennsylvania.
One thing about us wise guys, the hustle never ends.
But we met in AA. Chris, you're in the mafia.
JT seems to have overcome his demons of addiction, though of course it's something he has to be conscious of and careful about so that he doesn't relapse, like Christopher. Tony and organized crime triggered Christopher to fall off the wagon, and it ended up being deadly for JT too. Christopher may very well have helped JT when he was in rehab, when they were in rehab together, but now at this point, Christopher would be one of the people that we would warn JT in rehab that he needs to stay away from on the outside. I guess that's the danger. You may become collateral damage.
What could you possibly do to me that I haven't already been through?
I'm positive we'll think of something.
I'd love to hear your thoughts about JT Dolan and anything else that I've discussed in this video. Thanks for watching.